right, we are back with Chris in Ohio. And Chris, somebody also wrote this up. So what I need somebody to do is write this up again, send it to my Facebook and MySpace. I'm not sure if Kurt Nemo or the Watson boys are up. I know that Aaron Dykes is out of the office right now, but I'll get it up on Infowars as quickly as possible. What I also want to do is I want to make sure that this is legitimate, that this isn't some kind of hoax where somebody put up one quote-unquote hexadental site. I want to be able to find a separate site that can independently verify that this is, in fact, hexadental code and that this is not just something set up by somebody who's having a good time. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but I swear to God, I went to I didn't go to YouTube to look up blackjack. I went to I go to the Blackjack Telegraph that is that they put on. I don't go to YouTube. And
yeah, no, but I'm saying, is there any other hexadental string code converters out there other than the one that the guy who called in yesterday suggested?
I don't know if I'm using the one he suggested. All I know is I'm using the string converter. I don't know what the website is. I could go on my computer and see, but
listen, man, why don't you go check it out? Listeners out there, somebody sent it to me over the break. Like I said, I got Adam Kokesh coming up. Yes, sir.
Okay, no, but the thing is, it says for all other info, go to jackblack12.info. Now, if you go to this website, it's a timer, and it's set up weird. Like it almost looks like it's set up like it says 1 month 4 days or 1 year 4 days. It's a really weird timer.
jackblack12.info, guys. All right, Chris, you're dropping, so I gotta let you go. We're gonna go to somebody else in a moment, guys. Bring that up, jackblack12.info, and I'd like to take a look at that. All right, let's jump to Mark in Wisconsin. Mark, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason. I was actually perusing the MySpace the other day, because somebody sent me an app and I had no idea what it was. So just out of random curiosity, basically, I went and I checked out what the application was about. And it's kind of like the survey thing where they ask you questions, but every question is either some question where it either kind of makes you out to, feel like insecure or kind of like a douche, or else it's some kind of odd, almost profiling type question. Check some of these out. Does so-and-so act retarded when drunk? Does so-and-so wear too much perfume or aftershave? This is where it gets kind of weird. Would so-and-so make a good undercover secret spy? Do you think this person is poor? Do you think this person has a crush on Pamela Anderson? Do you think, this person likes men? Do you think
so?
This person is a
it's obviously a massive intelligence recruitment tool. It's a more track, trace, and database.
That's exactly, and that's exactly what I'm getting at. Been arrested.
Who are the bad boys? Who doesn't have money? Who sells somebody out in a heartbeat? Exactly. What kind of girls do they like? What are they into sexually? Yeah.
Yep, it's just basically a profiling quiz, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what it is. Your friends are narking you out, and you don't even know it. All you people out there that aren't in the public eye, that don't understand what it's all about, you ain't going to have to be, because Big Brother is here, baby. And they've got the tools to track, trace, and database more than you could fathom, more than you can imagine. And now they're just building the infrastructure of people to get human eyes on it. But soon enough, they're going to have the systems where they only really do need a few human eyes on it and a few human enforcers, because they got their technopoly here, baby. They got the new robo warriors. They got the ferrets, they got the fish, they got the penguins, they got the ripsaw, they got the big dogs. They got bullets with microchips in them that go through walls and explode within 3 meters. This is the new world order, and I'm not a big fan of it. I want to turn it around. I want to bring it back to the Constitution and Bill of Rights. We'll be back after this. It's the Infowarrior. All right, we are back. Our next guest is Adam Kokesh. He was a corporal in the United States Marine Corps Reserve and is a veteran of the Iraq War. He came back from service, became an activist, and now is doing, in my opinion, the most honorable thing and trying to run for office and change things from within, really taking the power into his own hands, trying to have a government for and by the people again. How are you tonight, Adam?
Outstanding. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for coming on. Why don't you give people a little bit of your background, when you found out that you were actually going to be going overseas, what your experience was there, and so forth?
Well, I actually volunteered, so I kind of found out on my own that way. But I was 17 years old when I was going to the Native American prep school in San Ysidro, New Mexico, just north of where I live now in Santa Fe. And one of my mentors there was a former Marine captain who served as a Motor T company commander in the first Gulf War. And he inspired me to enlist at 17 in the delayed entry program, which is, what I did. And I signed up, and it really meant something for me at the time to have my life on the line for something I believed in. So it was really cool to be able to join the Marines, first to fight and all that, hoorah, and have a combat MOS. I started out in the artillery, and then I joined the reserves because I was going to college, and I wanted to, but I really wanted to be a part of the national defense for whatever small part of it I was for whatever short amount of time. Like, it really was very meaningful to me to be a part of that. And I just wanted to have my life on the line for something I believed in. And so after training, I deferred college for a year to go to boot camp and then Marine combat training at Camp Pendleton and then field artillery school at Fortsville, Oklahoma. And I went to college, and 9/11 happened. Didn't really affect me too much personally. I didn't have anybody who was, any family on the East Coast or that was directly affected. And the biggest thing for me was having the next day off of school. Mm-hmm. But when I saw the war in Afghanistan, my unit wasn't in any consideration for getting called up, so I wasn't really paying too much attention. But when there was the lead up to the war in Iraq, I was against the war or against the invasion, because intellectually I was a non-interventionist, and I really understood and believed the advice of our founders, at least theoretically. I thought I did. But what I was lacking at the time was a good enough appreciation for the great American tradition of being lied to by our government. And so I believed the story. I thought that what we were doing was cleaning up our mess and responsible foreign policy and somehow genuinely trying to do good by the Iraqi people. So that was something I enthusiastically decided to risk my life for and volunteer for. And I dropped out of school in December of 2003. I was majoring in psychology at Claremont McKenna College in Southern California, and ended up serving as a sergeant on a Marine Corps Civil Affairs team in the Fallujah area from February, September of 2004. Some of us found out the hard way that the greatest enemies of the Constitution that we all swore an oath to support and defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic, are not to be found in the sands of some far-off land, but rather right here at home, occupying the seats of power in Washington, D.C. And the rhetoric that is being used to justify these occupations, the shifting justifications, is nowhere near matching up to the reality. And some of us had to find that out the hard way.
Well, I want to take you back on the other side of this break to right before you get into Fallujah, what your expectations were, and then just take us through, your first experiences overseas. Like you said, some people had to see it the hard way. It's the Infowarrior with Jason Bermas. Go check out the websites, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.tv, and my little blog, theinfowarrior.com.